Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Tom Sheeran. I have Tara Ryan back with me. We haven't chatted in a while, and today we're going to jump right into it about what's going on with the housing market, the crazy stuff in the mortgage world, the class action lawsuits, all kinds of stuff. And remember, Tara's with Fairway Mortgage, and she's out of an office in Peachtree Corners, but covers all of Atlanta and elsewhere too. So welcome, Tara. Glad you're here.
Thank you, Tom. I am so excited to be here with you again.
Yeah, so we got a lot of we were just talking before we jumped on the recording. Interest rates are slowly heading in the right direction, 7.07 as we speak. So we'll be jumping for joy when they're in the sixes and beyond that, right? So at least they're heading in the right direction.
I agree. Look, it's a little volatile, so we get some back and forth, but I agree with you. We're seeing a little bit of trending in the lowering direction, thank goodness. I got a couple of clients I quoted yesterday that it's 6.875. So I was like, all right, that's sounding a lot better than the 7.5 or even the 8 that a few people were seeing. So cautiously optimistic.
Yes, and as we were talking earlier too, that we might see where we're getting into some bidding wars, especially those lower price properties at, the inventory is slowly rising, but still way off. But we get into those 6% interest rates, and that'll get a lot of first-time buyers off the fence, and they'll be bidding on those lower price properties, the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 properties. And that's where we had all the bidding wars and being outbid with cash offers. But you guys got a plan for that too, to help with that. So tell us a little bit about that program you have where you guys can set it as a cash offer.
Oh, happy to, man. I tell you, I love it. One of my favorite things is helping you guys have more leverage in negotiating, right, with the seller and the listing agent. And look, every buyer needs a great rate, and they need to have a smooth closing and have their hand held and emotions handled along the way. But if we can help you get the house, then that's really where it's at. And look, even if there's not multiple offers, the more the seller wants your deal to work, right, the more leverage you've got on other things. So we do it as a package deal. That probably the biggest one that you're alluding to is our cash guarantee. So we at Fairway have a program. If you get fully underwritten with my team, so go ahead and give me all of your pay stubs and W-2s and bank statements up front, which, hey, you're going to have to do all that work anyway, right? We do it up front, so we've got you fully underwritten and clear out any major conditions. Then Fairway has a program where they'll agree to put right in the contract a cash guarantee that if we don't close that loan by the closing date in the contract, Fairway will buy the home with cash.
Wow. And again, if there's no fees involved, there were other companies in the past that were charging a pretty hefty fee.
Yeah, well, the minimum I ever saw was 1%, but yeah, 1 to 2% just to have the cash guarantee. You're right. And you know what we did is we looked at it and we said, well, hey, our buyers are paying this extra money, right, to get the guarantee, but we're pretty good at this, right? And I do think Fairway is a little unique that way. And I know on our team, we're very thorough in our pre-approvals. If we say we can do it, we're going to do it. And so the idea here is, well, why do we need to pay a third party to guarantee it? Why don't we just self-guarantee based on our confidence in the work that we do? So I've got two levels. The first is the Fairway cash guarantee, and it's fantastic. It's an addendum to the contract. It's very official. And then I have a second option that I do here on my team, just in my branch, because sometimes I don't have time to get it underwritten, right? You know, Tom, sometimes you're calling me on a Saturday, like, we found it. Help. Mm-hmm. It's the first time we've talked to the client. So I've got the authority in my branch to do a close on time guarantee. It's just a $5,000 payment to the seller. if we're even 1 day late on the closing, or if we don't close. So the combination of the two, the guarantee of the 5,000 from my branch, big advantage. I don't need the time to go through underwriting, right? But if we got the time, man, we'd love to do it. Get them fully underwritten and put that cash guarantee on there. And to your point, at no cost to the buyer.
Yeah, and that's a pretty strong statement. So if you're a day late, so you're confident you can get it done, your team will get it done on time, and if not, you're willing to compensate the seller.
Absolutely. And you know what I tell the buyers? I'm like, hey, and the great news is you get this guarantee at no cost. Doesn't cost you anything to have that in your offer. And the funny part is it doesn't cost me anything because I'm just going to do my job and close your loan on time. Right now, and I'm wide open on it, Tom. There's no fine print on this. The only exclusions are if the seller can't perform, right? So if we got bad title, the seller doesn't do the repairs, the seller moves the date, or it's a condo and the condo doesn't approve. And we can talk about condos more in a minute because that's a real hot spot. But anything related to the property, well, that makes sense, right? But anything at all related to the buyer, including they lose their job the day before closing, right? Something I have no control over. We're still insuring that and covering that guarantee in those cases.
Beautiful.
I don't like those offers that have 2 pages of fine print, right? I'm like,
No. And this made me think too, we talked too, you've got a buy now, refi later program too. And that would be a great way as agents and lenders to market to the rental community, right? And say, hey, look, you're paying a lot of money, you're not making any equity, you're kind of throwing it in the wind, and look at this program, we can refi later. So tell us a little bit about that program too.
oh, absolutely. Look, the thought there is how can we help people get out of their own way, right? I mean, you and I know we've got a little window here where, gosh, there's a lot of pent up demand, but there's a little bit of a slowdown in the market, just a little bit, right? I'm still seeing multiple offers. It's just not 27 offers, right? But there is a lot of pent up demand. I believe if rates drop into the fives, even 5.99, that's going to pull so many buyers off the sidelines, right? Even though our inventory may go up, because it'll also free up some people that feel chained to their current house, right?
Mm-hmm.
To go ahead and list and move, that the demand is still going to outpace the supply, right? And so that's likely going to correspond to home prices going up, which would offset any benefit from the lower interest rate, right? As far as affordability. So I think the play is buy now, refi later, which is why we named the program that.
Yeah.
Take advantage of locking in the home price, getting the house. Then when and if rates do drop, what we're doing is we're waiving our upfront lender fee. Everybody charges $1,000 to $1,500, right, to underwrite a loan and do the loan. So we're waiving that for anybody who purchases with us. We're actually honoring this through through the first quarter of 2024. We'll probably extend it, but right now, anybody who buys in that time frame automatically waiving that lender fee on their refinance, whatever that is, right? And a lot of folks don't realize if you refinance with the same lender, if it's the same buyers and same lender, in Georgia, you avoid the intangible tax, right? And that's a pretty hefty amount. It's $3 per thousand. So between the two, it cuts the cost of a refinance in half.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And again, yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer. Why, if you're going to wait, you're going to have more competition, but you can get the same rate as if you waited, but do it now. So
you nailed it. I mean, to me, the only reason to delay is just waiting to find the house that you like, right? I do want people to find a home that meets their needs and that they want, but that really should be the only obstacle, right? If we get them fully pre-approved, take advantage of the buy now, refi later. If you find the one you want, act on it.
yes. And to wrap things up, we talked about it too, and we know there's a lot of stuff in the national spotlight with the class action suits and all kinds of stuff, but we also know those take years to develop and pay out. But also, it's probably going to change the real estate industry, especially in the mortgage industry. And again, we've been in the business long enough. We've gone through a few changes, right? So
Just a few.
we're just going to have to, pivot and shift and see what we do with that. But
How's the morale around your office, Tom? Are folks kind of,
yeah, they're kind of questioning it, wondering. Yeah. I had a lot of newer agents. We've been talking, and what do you think? And it's like, well, just business as usual for right now, and nothing has changed yet. So we'll see, and when the smoke clears, we'll see then too. But that's what I try to advise, is just keep doing what you're doing. And like we talked to Tara, that's a great time to pick up your marketing and touch base with people maybe you lost track of, and just keep it going.
I'll tell you this, Tom, I agree. Being on the lending side now, coming up on the 20th year, we've had our share of major changes, right? You guys remember when TRID came out, right? I was at Wells Fargo at that time after the housing crisis. Spent 6 tough months working in a big bank. But at that time, their messaging was that no one would be able to close a loan in less than 60 days.
Wow.
That was the messaging that was going out. Oh my gosh, how will we ever be able to deal with all the timelines and things? There's a lot of stress and consternation. And look, here, my team, we're still closing loans in 14 days, right? Conventional and FHA. But there was a lot of fear in our industry at that time, right? Similarly, on the lending side, we went through a time where our pay got regulated, right? So lenders used to be wide open, right? Kind of like trying to think of a similar industry, but lenders could quote whatever they wanted. It's kind of the wild, wild west. Mm-hmm. So all this regulation came in, and it's scary. You start talking about how you're paid. So I can relate to what you guys are feeling and going through. The only thing I can say is the worry is worse than what actually happened.
Yes.
Right? Things tend to work out. I believe there's so much value to what you guys bring to the industry and to our joint clients. How it's going to work out, I don't know that we know yet. Right? We talked about, who knows, maybe it'll work out that Fannie and Freddie will allow buyers to roll in the buyer's commission into the loan. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility, right? We got to see where all this plays out. But I agree with you. We got to put our heads down and focus on our clients, our past clients, making sure they remember us and know we're here to help, and continuing to prove our value in the market.
That's it. We just keep on keeping on. So, well, we'll wrap it up today, but she's Tara Ryan with Fairway Mortgage, and we'll do another segment a lot sooner than this one. It took a while to catch up, but it's been a little nutty out there, Tara. But appreciate you being on, and thank you so much.